I'm Cody with Low Range Off-Road, and this is another how-to video. Today we're going to show you how to bleed brakes. Now we will be doing this on a 2002 Toyota Tacoma, but the steps to bleed the brakes are just about the same on every vehicle. Now the reason why you want to bleed your brakes is to remove air from the brake lines. And the reason that air gets in there is if you replace a hard line, or you just replace calipers, or at any time you lose fluid in the brake system. Now the sequence at which you want to start is the passenger rear tire, the driver's side rear tire, the passenger front tire, and then the driver front tire. Now the reason why you start in this order is you want to start at the furthest away point from the master cylinder. And then as our demonstration here, this is a caliper off of a Tacoma. You have this bleeder screw which is on top of the caliper, and this is what you will loosen just a little bit, just enough to where the fluid will come out of this port so that way you can bleed the system, and then tighten it back down when you are done. And then we're going to go from here down to the vehicle and show you how to bleed the system. So we are looking at the driver's side of the engine compartment, and this is the brake reservoir that's underneath the hood. And as you can see on this side, you have the max fill line is right here, and then the minimum fill line. And you want to, when you're done bleeding your brakes, you want to be at the maximum right here. And by adding some fluid, you just pop the cap and then pour in some brake fluid. And I usually, if you're just starting the bleeding process, I usually go a little bit above the max. And then as you continue to bleed the brakes, you want to watch and make sure that you don't run out of brake fluid, that you will have to restart bleeding your brakes again. Put the cap back on. After you bleed your brakes for a minute or two, you want to come back and check to make sure you're still full. And if you are, keep on going. Okay, we are on the back side of the vehicle, on the passenger side rear axle. And at the top here, and this will look the same as the driver's side on the rear axle as well. On the top here, this is the bleeder screw that when you go to bleed your brakes, you turn it just a little bit to the left, and out of this little hole here, the brake fluid will come out. So only time you will mess with this is if you're bleeding brakes. And so we're going to now stick our 10mm wrench on there. Okay, and then our guy inside the vehicle, we're going to tell him to pump the brakes. Go ahead and pump, Nick. Okay, hold them. And then just loosen them up just a little bit to where you get brake fluid. And then close it back down. Okay, pump. Okay, hold.
Holding.
And now you want to do this until you get a clear stream with no white in it or no bubbles at all in your brake fluid. And you're going to, while he's holding it, you're going to loosen it and then close it. And then since we had a solid stream coming out of it, we're good at this end, and then we're going to go to the next. And once again, it's important to start at the furthest away from the master cylinder. Okay, so this is the driver's side rear axle, and we're now going to go ahead, we'll loosen the exact same fitting. And now our guy up in the cab is already holding the brakes, so we're just going to loosen it. And since we had a solid stream of brake fluid coming out with no bubbles or anything, we're good to go ahead and go to the next corner, which is the passenger front tire. So after you've started bleeding, we just got done with the rear brakes. You want to always make sure that you come back and look at the brake reservoir to make sure you have not run out. And since we have come down just a little bit, we're going to add just a little bit more brake fluid to it. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and put the cap back on, and then move up to the passenger front tire, and then do the driver's side after that. Okay, pump. Okay, hold.
Holding.
Okay, pump.
Pumping.
Okay, hold.
Holding.
Okay, pump.
Pumping.
Okay, hold.
Holding.
Okay, pump. Okay, hold.
Holding. That feels pretty good.
Okay, pump. Okay, and then after you're done with each side, you make sure you put your dust cover back on the Zerk. Okay, we are now on the driver's side front tire. And the first thing we're going to do is remove the boot. Go ahead and install the tool. And then the gentleman on the driver's seat, we're going to tell him to pump it. Okay, go ahead and hold.
Holding.
And then you go ahead and loosen it. Okay, go ahead and pump it.
Pumping.
Okay, hold.
Holding.
Okay, pump it.
Pumping.
Okay, hold.
Holding.
Okay, pump.
Pumping.
Okay, hold.
Holding.
Okay, pump.
Pumping.
And as you can see, as we're doing this, it spurts out right at the beginning. Okay, hold.
Holding.
And as long as it's doing that, you still have air in your line. Okay, pump.
Pumping.
Okay, hold.
Holding.
Okay, pump.
Pumping.
Okay, hold.
Holding.
Okay, pump. Okay, hold.
Holding.
Okay, pump. How does that feel?
Feels really solid.
Okay. So since this is our last one, you want to make sure it's also tight. And go ahead and put the cover back on. And then clean up your mess with the brake fluid. And then after that, your brakes should be bled. Okay, we are now done bleeding the brakes on all four corners. And you always want to come back and double check your reservoir. And as you can see, we're below the max, but we're not quite to the minimum, which would probably be okay, but we're going to add some brake fluid to bring us back up to the max line. You just want to slowly fill it until you get to the max line, replace the cap, and you are good to go.